The hour of 7 p.m. having arrived, I will call to order this regular meeting of the Keene City Council. This meeting is being broadcast live on the City of Keene's YouTube channel and Spectrum Channel 1302. The video is also streamed on the city's website and is posted by the end of the next business day, barring any technical difficulties. If you would like to receive an electronic City Council packet to reference while viewing future broadcasts, please contact the City Clerk's office during regular business hours or go to the city's website and subscribe to the city meetings email list. The agenda is also accessible from any mobile device. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Kate M. Bosley. Here. Laura E. Tobin.
Here.
Michael J. Remy.
Here.
Randy L. Filio.
Here.
Robert C. Williams.
Here.
Edward J. Haas.
Here.
Philip M. Jones. Andrew M. Madison.
Here.
Chris E. Roberts.
Here.
Raleigh C. Ormerod.
Here.
Brian J. Lake.
Here.
Catherine I. Workman. Bettina A. Chadwell.
Here.
Thomas F. Powers.
Here.
Mitchell H. Greenwald.
Thank you. Councilor Williams, would you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Councilor Bosley, may I ask for a motion for the minutes of February 15th?
I move to adopt the February 15th regular meeting minutes as presented.
Thank you. Second by Councilor Powers?
Second.
Thank you. Any comments from councilors? February 15th minutes. Seeing none, would the clerk please call the roll? Show of hands, never mind. All those in favor, please raise your hand. That's a unanimous vote. Thank you very much. Announcements. To accommodate the Municipal Services, Facilities, and Infrastructure Committee that will be focusing on the downtown infrastructure project, there is a special Municipal Services, Facilities, and Infrastructure meeting dates are being scheduled, and those scheduled dates are for March 13th, April 10th, and May 8th. Those meetings will start at 5:30 to facilitate the start of the Planning Licenses and Development Committee's meeting, which will shift to 7 p.m. on those 3 dates. Again, March 13th, April 10th, and May 8th. The city will be hosting a legislative delegation meeting, and that will be on March 26th at 6:30 in Heberton Hall. There will be a council workshop to discuss the downtown project on June 11th at 6 p.m. here in council chambers. That's a Tuesday evening, and please add that to your calendars. And one more, the council's summer vacation is scheduled to start with the cancellation of the council meeting of August 15th and will include September 5th, still within that vacation period. The council standing committee meetings of August 7th and 8th and August 21st and 2nd are also canceled. The committee meetings will start meeting again on September 11th and September 12th, with the council's next meeting then beginning on September 19th. Okay. I would like to then ask the clerk to read the notice of the public hearing.
Notice is hereby given that a public hearing will be held before the Keene City Council relative to the proposed City of Keene Capital Improvement Program for the 7 years starting July 1, 2024 and ending June 30, 2031. The plan identifies non-school capital projects and equipment acquisitions that are planned to be undertaken in the community and which calls for a financial investment totaling $200,835,658 from local, state, and federal resources. The first year investment totals $103,359,939 from all sources. The local portion of the program is funded by the sale of bonds, property taxes, and other miscellaneous sources. Per order of the mayor and councilors of the city of Keene, this 18th day of January, 2024.
So we'll open the public hearing now. I guess first I want to thank the city staff who are here in force to be present to answer any questions that the city manager needs to lean towards them to answer. I see a couple members of the public with us this evening, and perhaps you could tell us the page numbers if there are specific items you'd like to us to stop, pause, allow for you to raise any questions that you have. Please offer that. To the audience that is at home, I'd like to, if you are caring to follow what we are about to run through, you can go to the city's website and drop down just below the column headings, and you'll find the CIP, and just click on it, and you will come to a home page. Look for the table of contents. If you want a shorthand version of what we'll be going through, I suggest you turn to pages 14 and 15, because those run through all of the projects by the year in which they're scheduled to occur, and they also give you some funding detail about each of the projects. So, and at this point, audience, any places that you'd want us to stop and pause for particular topics? No? We'll just run through. If there's something that tickles you and you care to speak, please come to the microphone and offer your questions. Just as an overview, we will be tonight, I'm going to run through those 90 projects that are scheduled for the first 2 years of the capital improvement plan. So we've got a CIP for 2025 through 2031, but it is the 25 and 26 years that are of the most significance to the kind of approval that the council will be considering. Those that are in the out years, those are placeholders. Clearly, costs and scope of projects will change between now and the time that the council comes back to reconsider those. Every 2 years, we reconsider the CIP. So the 27, 28, and out to fiscal year 33, that's something that the council would take up 2 years from now. Those 90-plus projects that we'll be reviewing tonight in fiscal 25, they require $33,500,000 of budgeting and anticipated expense. In fiscal 26, that would require $31.3 million. All in, we're considering and running through tonight $64 million of budget authorization that would be considering during this budget process on the capital improvement project. Manager?
Thank you.
Good evening. Just a reminder for everyone and for anyone who might be watching at home, the capital plan is a 7-year plan, as the mayor said, which includes projections actually beyond the 7 years in the appendix. The CIP includes projects with an estimated cost in excess of $35,000 and an anticipated useful life of at least 5 years. Individual project requests are also consolidated into a capital program, and those details are also included in the plan. The other thing the capital plan does, really, it helps us to mitigate the challenges associated with large projects, such as the downtown project, because we are able to, with advanced planning, spread the expense over multiple years using capital reserve funds and other financial tools, like grants, and then align those grants with the projects timeline so that funds are available when the project is implemented. The beginning of the CIP review with the council is also the beginning of the operating budget preparation. So we started the CIP in the summer, believe it or not. And then we reviewed every page of this document at the FOP committee just about a month ago. The budget process ends in June when the council approves an operating budget, which will include the first year of the CIP as amended and adopted by the council. So that's why we focus during the review on the first 2 years, because it is that first year that actually gets included in the budget when we present a budget to the council in May. And the other thing I like to always remind everybody that this is a planning tool. So items in this CIP will shift, the timing will shift, the numbers will change. It is strictly a planning tool. It is not until you actually appropriate the dollars when you appropriate your operating budget that it actually becomes a real cost to the taxpayer. So with that, I'm happy to answer any other questions.
Very good. Okay, we will consider each of the groups by department and see if there are any questions during the public hearing. On pages 17 through 26, we've got allocations to capital reserve funding. This is not funding that is going to specific projects. If there is funding for these items, it is then something that's taken up further with a direct allocation. You can see that with ambulance replacement, for instance, which is on page 17. There is an allocation into the capital reserve for ambulance replacement, but then under page 33 and 34, there's an ambulance replacement program allocation to actually acquire one. So that's any questions about the capital reserve funding? It is covering ambulance replacement, bridge capital reserves, some dollars for downtown infrastructure capital reserve, emergency communications, IT systems, parks and facilities, the reappraisal of property assessments, roads and sidewalks, and transportation improvements. Any questions on that section of the document? Seeing none, I'll move to the community services. There are 3 projects under the community development program and department. They include the comprehensive master plan update for $70,000, a 10-year digital-based map update for $150,000, and a bicycle master plan project for $50,000. Manager?
So just a reminder, the comprehensive master plan update, in order to award the contract, we did need to come early to request those additional funds. And so when this document is finalized at the FOP committee and back to the council, we will be able to remove the $70,000 request on page 30.
Beginning on page 33, there are fire department projects, including an ambulance replacement, a fire apparatus replacement, the SIGCOM integrated master box project, and durable equipment replacement and acquisition. If there's any questions on the fire department? Seeing none, Parks and Recreation, there's a Municipal Parks Maintenance Program, Open Space and Trails Program, Forestry Assessment Project, a Transportation Heritage Trail Program, a trail bridge maintenance program to repair 2 pedestrian bridges and rehabilitate the North Bridge. Any questions from the public? And that's there are 2 projects for the police department. They include mobile radio replacement and a crime scene van replacement. Any questions about those 2 allocations? Seeing none, move to internal support. There is the reevaluation program of all properties in the city, $138,000, and that's something that occurs every 5 years, led by the assessing department. There are a half a dozen projects under facilities. They include the municipal building capital maintenance program, $100,000 in each year, municipal building roofs replacement, and that has varying amounts in 25 and 26. There's a paving of parking lots that is deferred until fiscal '26, $372,000. A Parks and Cemetery operations project, and that's $180,000 in fiscal '25. City Hall structural repair project of $1.2 million. That's in fiscal '25, and a citywide security upgrade project for $75,000 in fiscal '26. Any questions that? Continuing on those internal support items, there are 3 projects, I think it's 3. Projects under the Information Technology Department. One is for database software upgrades. Again, if they last for more than 3 years, it becomes a capital improvement. So a database software upgrade of $24,000 in fiscal '25, a network equipment replacement program in fiscal '26 of $37,000, and a server replacement that occurs over both fiscal years, and about $50,000 total. Any question on any of these specific items? Moving on then to the general fund infrastructure, we're now moving to page 75 in the capital improvement program. Half a dozen projects under the airport. These are some big dollar amounts, but all but one of these is supported largely by federal grant monies that the city matches with usually about a 5% match to any of these projects. So while the dollar amounts may sound large, they have significant federal money behind them. Beginning with a wildlife perimeter fencing project around the airport. That's about a $4 million project overall over 2 years. An airport snow removal equipment of $600,000 in fiscal '25. Terminal improvement project for largely ADA compliance issues of $800,000 in fiscal '25. Pavement maintenance and marking project of $166,000 in fiscal '26. The T hangar apron maintenance for $200,000 in fiscal '26, and an obstruction management program for $500,000 grant funded mostly in fiscal '26. On page 86, we begin the public works projects. There's a lengthy list, but they include downtown infrastructure improvement and reconstruction, $1.2 million in each year of the fiscal '25 and '26 budgets, so $2.4 million overall. Downtown restroom project of $400,000 in fiscal '26. A roadway preservation and rehabilitation project. This is for ongoing road rehabilitation in the city of $1.4 million in each of the 2 fiscal years. The Lower Winchester Street reconstruction project. This is largely grant funded for about $10 million. The city's previously considered this to make the application for those grant programs, the grant funding. Sidewalk assessment management of around $600,000, and that's for ongoing replacement. Traffic signal replacement of over $300,000 in the 2 fiscal years, and that's for replacement around the city. Dam maintenance in fiscal '26, about $200,000. Stormwater resiliency has an overall cost in the 2 fiscal years of around $5 million. Stormwater Channel Maintenance Program of $300,000 over the 2 fiscal years. Stormwater Spot Repair Program of $150,000 over 2 fiscal years, and Stormwater Main Lining Program, which is relining some metal pipes to extend their useful life. That's about $500,000 over 2 fiscal years. Any question on Public Works projects? Moving on to some of the enterprise funds. The parking fund has half a dozen projects. They are for City Hall parking facility, just for repair and replacement of $200,000. This is beginning on page 117. A Wells Street parking facility maintenance and improvement of $60,000 over the 2 fiscal years. Surface lot improvements and maintenance of $50,000 in fiscal '25, and City Hall parking structure maintenance of $360,000 over the 2 fiscal years. And finally, a West Side downtown parking structure. I guess this is more a placeholder, but $1.1 million that would be place held for fiscal '26. Manager?
Just to add some additional information related to the parking garage, because we do get a lot of questions about the parking garage. So we will be submitting for an earmark grant for this first year of the capital plan for this project. And that first year in FY '26 is for the design of a parking garage. But currently, we are in the process of bringing on a consultant to look at the feasibility and the funding options for a parking garage. So right now, this is a placeholder. It's dependent on a variety of things. One, the results of the work of the consultant, and then 2, the availability of grant funds in the future.
Thank you. Moving on to the Solid Waste Fund with, let's see, we've got quite a number of projects here. So we have at the recycling transfer station $150,000 allocated for maintenance over the in each of the 2 fiscal years, so $300,000 overall. Recycling equipment replacement program of $50,000 allocation. A weight scale replacement that's scheduled for fiscal '26 for $139,000, and a pavement replacement project for fiscal '25 for $300,000. Continuing with the sewer fund, there is for a capital reserve to set aside funds for the Martel Court maintenance of that facility. Sewer infrastructure over the 2 fiscal years, $1.5 million. For wastewater treatment plant, a set aside of $450,000 in each of the 2 fiscal years. Sewer improvement program, this is like $1.9 million over the 2 fiscal years. Sewer manhole lining project for $340,000 over the 2 fiscal years. The sewers and main and sewer mains, a lining program for $430,000 over the 2 fiscal years. Lower Winchester Street infrastructure, $400,000 in fiscal '25 for sewer infrastructure on Lower Winchester Street. At the wastewater treatment plant, there are projects that include the service water system upgrade of $262,000, a HVAC replacement project for $372,000, a tank repair program that has $150,000 in each of the 2 fiscal years for tank repair. Building renovation and demolition project. This is for the CHIP building for $65,000. The clarifier equipment replacement, $190,000 in fiscal '26. The Martel Court bypass project which will include a permanent bypass design at the Martell Court Pumping Station. It's $3.4 million scheduled for fiscal '25. A grit removal clamshell project, that's a replacement in fiscal '26 for $80,000, and a lamp replacement program, replacing UV lamp bulbs for $75,000 in fiscal '25. And if you've taken the tour down there, you understand what the UV replacement is so important in that process. Any questions on the sewer fund? Welcome, Representative Councilor Jones. The water fund has, it begins on page 176. We'll run through those. There's a $500,000 in each of the 2 fiscal years set aside for capital reserves. And there's also, for a water treatment facility, a $500,000 overall for the 2 fiscal years, again, to fund repair and maintenance for waste, for water treatment. The 3 million gallon storage tank repair project is scheduled for fiscal '26, and that's got $690,000 set aside. Water distribution improvements and rehabilitation and replacement of water mains for $3.3 million over the 2 fiscal years. Lower Winchester infrastructure project of $1 million, and that'll go towards that lower Winchester Street improvement. The water valve replacement program, and that it has $225,000 over the 2 fiscal years. Water treatment facility instrumentation replacement, $46,000 in fiscal '25, and then a series of fiscal '26 projects, including valve and actuator replacement, $160,000, water pump replacement at $65,000, blower replacement at $84,000, and a well field upgrade for $700,000. And any questions about the water fund? Seeing none, we move on to the fleet fund. That is something that begins on page 202. It has 4 different allocations. One is to the equipment replacement reserve of $950,000 for each of the 2 fiscal years. Additional equipment replacement, and that would be citywide, I assume, and that's $800,000+ in each of the 2 fiscal years. The Fleet Services Building Fire Suppression Project, that's a $90,000 installation in fiscal '25, and a Fleet Services Roof Replacement Project, $138,000 in fiscal '25. That completes the 90+ projects for the fiscal '25 and '26 fiscal years. And if there are any questions that folks would like to ask at this time, please offer them. Seeing none, we'll conclude the public hearing, and I will ask once again this with the City Finance Operations Personnel Committee will take this up at its next meeting on March 14th. Okay. Thank you very much. All right. Upon hearing no further I guess I better read this formally. Upon hearing no further comments, we've closed the public hearing except for written comments, which will be accepted up until 1 p.m. on Tuesday, March 12th. Written comments must be signed and submitted to the city clerk by March 12th. and by that date and time, which is again 1 PM on Tuesday, March 12th, in order to be included in the record. And we have referred this back to FOP for the March 14th meeting. Okay, we'll move on to elections and nominations and appointments. We have a series of appointments in front of us. Would the clerk please read the nominations?
Be happy to. We have the following confirmations this evening to city boards and commissions. We have to the Airport Development and Marketing Committee, Counselor Greenwald being re-nominated for a term to expire December 31, 2025. We have Colin Bob Lyle being nominated to serve a term to expire December 31, 2026. To the Energy and Climate Committee, we have Paul Roth and Kenneth Swimmer both being renominated for terms to expire December 31, 2026. And we have Jake Pipp being confirmed as an alternate for a term to expire December 31, 2026. To the Human Rights Committee, we have Asia Davis, and her term would expire December 31, 2024. And then also to the Human Rights Committee, we have Deborah Bowie being confirmed as an alternate, and her term would expire December 31, 2026.
Counselor Bosley for a motion, please.
Move to confirm the nominations.
Thank you. Seconded by Counselor Powers. Thank you. All those in roll call on this. Never mind. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Thank you. Counselor Bosley?
Yes.
Counselor Tobin?
Yes.
Counselor Remy?
Yes.
Counselor Filion?
Yes.
Counselor Williams?
Yes.
Counselor Haas?
Yes.
Counselor Jones?
Yes.
Counselor Madison?
Yes.
Counselor Roberts?
Yes.
Counselor Ormerod?
Yes.
Counselor Lake?
Yes.
Counselor Chadbourne?
Yes.
Counselor Powers?
Yes.
That motion carries unanimously. Thank you. We have a nomination to the Human Rights Committee.
Yes, we have David Murrill, and he is being nominated to the Human Rights Committee as an alternate, and his term would expire December 31, 2026.
And we'll table that nomination until our next regular council meeting. Council communications, I announce with some regret the future resignation of Councilor Ormerod from the City Council, which is not effective until April 1st. So I'm going to ask that we table this until our following meeting after April 1st, which would be April 4th, at which time we will take up the process for considering how to fill that vacancy, which is guided by our council rules. So, Councilor Ormerod, thank you for the early notice. Appreciate the transparency.
You're welcome.
We have communication from, would the clerk please?
Sure. We have a communication from Conan Salata. He is concerned about the process for the issuance of fire or burn permits from the fire department.
And we'll refer Mr. Salata's letter to the Finance, Operations, and Personnel Committee for their consideration. We'll accept that as informational for the time being.
Okay. Next, we have a communication from Jared Goodell. He is registering some concerns related to the city's sidewalk cafe guidelines and regulations.
And the concerns raised in Mr. Goodell's letter will be addressed during the downtown improvement project relative to sidewalks and outdoor licenses and any kind of changes that the city needs to consider. So at this point, I want to just accept that as informational for now. And we'll certainly take that under consideration as the downtown improvement project rolls forward.
So next, we have a communication from Peter SBFs. He's putting on record that his opposition to ordinance O 2023-16A. This is the ordinance relating to charitable gaming facilities.
And this too we'll accept as informational.
Next, we have a communication from Charlotte and David Lesser. They live on Grant Street. They're having an issue with noise created by a commercial vehicle generator that runs extensively through day and night in their neighborhood.
And we will refer this letter to the Planning, Licenses, and Development Committee for their consideration. Counselor Remy.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I kind of want to challenge the chair on number 3. I don't understand how the downtown project will address outdoor patios that include audio or visual components, which was part of the letter that was requested. I just don't understand how the downtown project resolves any of these issues. That's
Well, I mean, yesterday I had the opportunity of going to the public hearing, or at least viewing opportunity for the downtown project. It's pretty clear that the kind of transformation that is included in that project for downtown sidewalks, to include all the things that the council asked to be included in the downtown project, are just going to be completely redesigned relative to outdoor seating, distances to from storefronts, pedestrian sidewalks, bike lanes. These, all the distances are going to be quite different under that plan and totally reconsidered during that process.
I understand for that, but it doesn't address non-compliant licenses, outdoor patios that include audiovisual, fees charged for using the city property. I would challenge that this should go to PLD, and I don't know what the process is for challenge the decision, but I'm asking that we do that this goes to PLD.
Yep, city manager.
I just want to add a little bit more information. So as part of the downtown project, we anticipate revamping sidewalk licenses entirely. What they look like, what sort of things are allowed, where they're located, because we will have the space to be able to do it. And I think what the mayor was hoping to do is have a bigger conversation about sidewalk licenses for both restaurants and other commercial activity once we are ready to move forward with the downtown project.
Councilor Madison.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have to agree with Councilor Remy. This seems like it should be forwarded to FOP. This is about the enforcement of existing city rules. So I'm going to second Councilor Remy's challenge.
Okay. Any further comment from Councilor Bosley?
So, under this circumstance, I actually support the mayor's decision with this. I have been keenly aware, since we've adopted that version of the downtown landscape, that we were going to have to create a new ordinance for these sidewalk cafes. And I think that I made my position pretty clear when we were going through that process, that whatever we were adopting, I did not want to negatively impact the sidewalk cafes, but we are going to have to come up with some version of being able to move those cafes up against the building structures. And at that point, we're gonna be discussing all of these things. I think that what this letter kind of stood out to me was that it's addressing a lot of things that we did to expand sidewalk cafes under the COVID guidelines. And I think this is all gonna come together in one piece when we go over the downtown project.
Your Honor, just a point of
Councilor
order.
Flynn.
Per the rules of order, when a counselor challenges a mayor's decision and gets a second, all conversation is therefore terminated, and the only two that can speak is the person challenging the chair and the chair themselves. Both of them can defend their positions, and then the council votes either for the mayor's decision or the challenger's position. At this point, we're violating our rules of order.
Okay, well, thank you, Councilor Filio. Let's then move this to a vote.
I'm fine with that.
Sorry,
I'm fine with that.
Okay.
I'm aligned. Yeah.
roll call.
Your Honor, it has to be, are we finding in favor of the chair's decision or not, just to be clarifying it, that the rule of order, there has to be, that's the motion. Do we adhere to the chair's recommendation on the floor? So we'll be voting, do we agree with you or not?
A yes sends it as informational.
Yes, say it again.
A yes is informational, a no means we need a different decision.
Correct.
Are we ready for?
So it is upholding the ruling of the chair
Is a yes.
in a yes vote, turning around that decision with a no vote. Okay, would the clerk call the roll?
Counselor Bosley?
Yes.
Counselor Tobin?
No.
Counselor Remy?
No.
Counselor Filios?
Yes.
Counselor Williams?
No.
Counselor Haas?
No.
Counselor Jones?
No.
Counselor Madison?
No.
Counselor Roberts?
No.
Counselor Ormerod?
Yes.
Counselor Lake?
No.
Counselor Chadbourne?
No.
Counselor Powers?
No.
Okay, we will refer this to PLD. Would the clerk please read the next letter?
Happy to. Gotta get myself back there. Okay. So next we have, I believe we're on C6, which is a communication from the Keene Swamp Bats. They're requesting their annual discharge of fireworks on Independence Eve, July 3rd, 2024.
This letter will refer to PLD for their consideration of the license for that date.
And we have a further communication from the Swamp Bats. This is for permission to do 2 additional fireworks displays during their upcoming season. One of them would be at the game opener on June 5th, and the second would be at their season-ending game, July 30th.
And this too will refer to PLD for their consideration.
Next, we have a communication from St. James Episcopal Church. They are requesting that the city consider issuance of 5 parking passes for use by the patrons visiting their church office and by the staff at the office, and they would be using them on an as-needed basis.
And we'll refer this request to the Finance Organization and Personnel Committee. Okay. Counselor Jones.
Thank you. If I may just go back to the Swamp Bats request, is there protocol meetings before that goes to?
Yeah, there will be.
Okay, because last year, there was a rain out on July 3rd, and then we had to have a rush meeting to do the rain date. Maybe we should look at including the rain date this year,
Yes.
because there was no public input on the rain date last time. Thank you.
Yes, we'll make sure we address a rain date when we meet with them.
And it is something that will go to the committee, so the committee can take that up. And Counselor Jones, you're on the committee.
Yes, I am.
Okay. We have a motion from,
Reports?
yes.
Okay.
We will-
So we're
please.
now at committee reports. We have a Municipal Services, Facilities, and Infrastructure Committee. This is an informational report relating to a communication that came from the Bicycle Pedestrian Path Advisory Committee. They wanted to let the council know they support multimodal design concepts in the downtown project.
Counselor Powers for a motion?
So this one's
This is informational,
Yes.
right. Thank you for that. All right, city manager, comments?
Thank you. I just have a couple for you this evening. Some positive news. We like positive news. We've had some really nice coverage in a couple of different publications. So in the cover story in the March-April issue of Yankee is titled Best Places to Live, and Keene is recommended, along with a couple of other places, but I'm not going to mention them. It's in the category of revitalized small city. It's on page 67 of their issue if you're interested, but I really like reading what other people think about us. And so they wrote, Keene is mentioned as an affordable option. The splashy renovation of Keene's historic Colonial Theater continues to draw attention to its re-energized downtown. Keene State College's pretty little campus flows into a central district with what's been touted as one of the world's widest paved main streets, locally grown restaurants and shops, and one of the best art and music scenes in the state. Pretty cool. The other really neat thing is that the editors are planning a travel story about the Monadnock region in September, on the September-October 2025 issue, and I'm sure Keene will be highlighted there as well. The other place, and the mayor pointed this one out to me, is in worldatlas.com. We have a nice section on their website as one of the best small towns to retire in New Hampshire. And then they talk about nestled in Cheshire County in southern New Hampshire is the city of Keene. It lies in the heart of the Monadnock region, home to the iconic Mount Monadnock, surrounded by natural beauty, and has several parks and conservation areas. The town has a vibrant cultural scene with several art galleries, museums, and theaters. The Keene State College offers various cultural and educational programs. Additionally, the town hosts several festivals and events throughout the year. Keene has a strong sense of community. The community offers many volunteers opportunities in civic organizations, so that also was very nice. And then back to business. We have Green Up Keene coming, and that is on Saturday, April 20th, so be sure to spread the word. This year we will again have a drive-through supply pickup on Saturday rather than having our usual sign-up tables at Railroad Square. Pre-registration is encouraged. Volunteers may also arrange for a no-contact pickup of garbage bags and disposable gloves through the Public Works prior to the event. Contact Andrea at Public Works for event details, and their number is 352-6550. We really count on Green Up Keene every year to help us beautify all of our parks and our trails, and really address some of the litter that tends to accumulate through the year. And it's amazing how much is picked up by volunteers every single year. And then one personal note, I have a grandson. Thank you. On Monday, my daughter gave birth to my grandson, Oliver. He is 8 pounds, 11 ounces, 19 and a half inches, my first grandchild. So I wanted to share that news with you. Thanks.
Nobody can top that. All right. So move on to reports from our committees. Yep.
Okay. So we have a memorandum from the Parks, Recreation, and Facilities Director relative to acceptance of a Land Water Conservation Fund grant for the skate park.
So we're going to need a hand vote to accept this onto the agenda. So we need to suspend the rules, and that'll be the first motion. Counselor Powers?
Thank you, Your Honor. I move to suspend the rules of order to allow action on the acceptance of Land and Water Conservation Funds Grant 33 for the skate park.
Counselor Remy?
Second.
Moved by Counselor Powers and seconded by Counselor Remy. Counselor Powers, for manager, who wishes to speak to this?
Suspend the rules.
Oh, sorry. We'll spend, yeah, sorry. I moved on. Okay, let's, no,
Roll call.
it is a roll call
Yes,
to
yes.
suspend the rules. Thank you.
Counselor Bosley?
Yes.
Counselor Tobin?
Yes.
Counselor Remy?
Yes.
Counselor Filio?
Yes.
Counselor Williams?
Yes.
Counselor Haas?
Yes.
Counselor Jones?
Yes.
Counselor Madison?
Yes.
Counselor Roberts?
Yes.
Counselor Ormerod?
Yes.
Counselor Lake?
Yes.
Counselor Chadbourne?
Yes.
Counselor Powers?
Yes.
All right. Rules are suspended. Counselor Powers for motion.
Thank you again, Your Honor. I move to recommend that the city manager be authorized to accept, execute, and expend a Land and Water Conservation Fund Grant Round 33 award for $250,000 for the skate park.
Counselor Remy?
Second. One kind, notice Scrivener's error on the.
So moved by Counselor Powers, seconded by Counselor Remy, and Counselor Powers.
He reads closely, so. We've all heard about this project several times before. We've done some work to get towards the fruition of this project, and the bid came in higher than what was available. So went back through the processes, and we'll make a second application, but the city needs authorization from the city council to be able to do that. That's sort of timely, and we didn't meet for a couple weeks there. That gets us here tonight, suspending the rules, and I hope you'll approve this. Thank you.
Please, manager wishes to speak to this.
To add a little bit more detail to that, back in October, so October 2nd, 2023, the city council did authorize me to accept and execute and expend this grant. However, you'll remember, we were counting on an Invest NH grant for the demolition of the Findings building, and we did receive one, but when we went out to bid to do the actual demo, it was double the cost. So therefore, we had to go back and ask the LWCF if we could include demolition funds as part of the use of this grant. And it takes some time to go through the process, but they have agreed to it, and so now we're back to you to ask to be able to do that, because I will need to execute new documents.
Counselor Remy, would you care to make an amendment to this motion?
Well, I guess I don't know if it's an amendment, but I think it's a Scrivener's error, just that it's listed in the background notes as 225. The motion was recommended at 250, but I think it's 225. So I think it was a Scrivener's error in the recommended motion.
So we can take that as Scrivener's? Okay.
Okay, everybody follow that? The motion is for $225,000 for the skate park project. All those in favor, please indicate by raising your hands. We have a unanimous vote. Okay. Moving on. Oh, we have, huh? We have a couple of reports that are going to be moved to more time. Care to run through those?
So we have an MSFI report. It was a petition from the East Side Keene residents regarding traffic calming measures. More time was requested for this one, as well as a report out of MSFI for requesting a classic car show on May 5th.
Okay, more time is granted. So ordinances for first reading.
So we have a memorandum from the Human Resources Director. It's accompanied by Ordinance O 2024-02, an ordinance relating to departments and class allocation.
And we will refer this to Finance, Organization, and Personnel Committee.
So next we have another ordinance. This is a memorandum from the Airport Director along with Ordinance O 2024-03. This is an ordinance relating to the Airport Development and Marketing Committee.
And we'll refer this to Planning, Licenses, and Development Committee. Okay,
So next we are at resolutions. I
yes,
believe.
resolutions.
Okay. So we have a resolution, we have a memo from the Human Resources Director, and with it is Resolution R 2024-06. This is a resolution in appreciation of Raymond R. Phillips upon his retirement.
And Counselor Bosley for the motion.
Move to adopt Resolution R 2024-06.
Second.
Moved by Counselor Bosley, seconded by Counselor Powers. Any comments with regrets to the retirement of Mr. Phillips? All those in favor of accepting this resolution, please raise your hand. Motion carries unanimously. Okay. We next move to that next item, and
We do. Our
Martell Court.
final item is a resolution. This is a memorandum from the Assistant Public Works Director, along with Resolution R 2024-07, relating to the reallocation of unspent bond funds for the Martell Court Pump Control and Replacement Project.
And we'll refer this resolution to Finance Operation and Personnel Committee. Okay, it brings us to the end of our agenda for this evening. Seeing no further business, we will adjourn this meeting, and if counselors will remain for a moment, we'll follow our city manager.